looks like we had a bit of snow yesterday. Funny, isn't it? Look how deep it is. Wasn't anything on the roof the other day. Yeah. Let's have a look around. It looks nice, doesn't it? You can see down here, that's my snow pile. My snowman, well, it's not a snowman, it's not made of snow. My snow plough man piles all my snow up there. That'll be there for months. And as for working on the Ford, I have to find it first. Let's go and have a look at this Range Rover. Yes, the old Range Rover, I've got it in. What a struggle me and Deborah had trying to get that in. Disabled cars are a nightmare, especially with all that snow. Anyway, I put the new crank sensor on and it didn't work. Crank's over, but it didn't work. So I got to get to the bottom of this. It's really, really depressing and really annoying what's gone wrong. But I think I might have found something. Let's go on the bench and see. To get a little bit deeper into this, I've been studying wiring diagrams all weekend. I replaced this unit. This is the fuel pump relay, but it does a little bit more than that, because not only does it turn the fuel pump on, it turns the ECU and the injectors on as well. Now, although we know that the pump works, because using the power probe here, we can put power down all the way from the wire here all the way to the pump, and the pump works, so we know that's okay. But is this working? This was just a recent one, and I don't know why it's failed. I can't smell any burnt, anything like that on it, but I think I might have found the answer. So watch this. By using a power probe, we'll put a bit of insulated rag down there. So what we can do with this is the power probe's got a ground on it, and it's also, we can flick this switch positive or switch it negative. Fused, great piece of kit. You can't do repairs without one of these. But what we're going to do is touch the relays individually and listen. That one works. That one works. Watch this, call me a liar. Nothing. That relay's not working. And the funniest thing about it is that these relays are sort of interlocked together, because although it's showing 6 wires here, there's only 3 of them that actually work. I don't know I don't know what the schematic of it is. I'm not going to really set around, but if the coils are not working, then I think we're pretty much stuffed. They are finicky. The first one we put on that didn't work. Plugged this in, worked. But like I say, and because we put this in not a year or so ago, we expected it to work. Well, obviously it's not. So the thing is, do we replace the relay, or do we just quit and just say buy the whole unit? New unit's about $150, but could we replace the relay? Is it worth it? And what number is it? It's 7056, I think. Let's have a look and see if we can find one. So I've printed out several sheets of this multifunction unit and what it actually does, or perhaps what it doesn't. It's very confusing when something doesn't work what it should do. Like I say, that relay's not working, but should it? Because you see, I've just found out that they fit these on all sorts of cars. It's just a miniature relay box really, but one is definitely not firing up. When we look at the diagram here, this is the diagram of the box, and this is what's confusing. It says number 1, multi-port fuel injection load, and then it says number 2 is secondary air injection valve, relay valve, doesn't matter about that, and number 3 is heated oxygen sensor, doesn't matter about that. But if you look closely at what it says underneath here, it says not used. There's only like these 2 wires that's been used. Now I've checked the wires, this brown and orange going to the ECU, that's good. The blue and the red, there's no breaks in the wires at all. So the brown and the orange here is the power wires, and they power up all the what do we call it, injectors, when I get it split out. It powers up the injectors. But for some reason we're not getting anything out of it. Like, it won't start, it just nothing. And from what I've been reading in these GEMS manual, which is really good, tells you all about that Morgan +8 GEMS system, is this one here, immobilization pin 26. It's an input, and it's a 0 to 12 volts 366 board. I don't know what that means. But anyway, from what I've been finding out, that comes from the 10AS unit. You know them little green boxes that were on Defenders and Discos and things like that? When you press your key fob, that sends a signal to the ECU to switch on. Now, we got that ECU from RPI, which is supposed to be unlocked, and I'm going back to my original suspicion. Is it this, or is it the ECU? Like I say, I've just been round all the wires, all the pinouts, and everything functions. But because that's an input, I don't know what this input signal should be, so you can't really fake it. What a complicated system. I mean, who'd steal a Range Rover? Must be out of their minds. So, what's next? Is it a replacement ECU again? That's expensive. I think we can only get a Tornado one. Do I send that one back to the UK and get it flash? But RPI is not in business anymore. Maybe Tornado could fix it for us, I don't know. I'll replace this. This is 150 bucks. I don't know. I'll tell you what I'm going to do with it now, seeing I've got all my gear out and bloody papers everywhere. Yeah, that was like a paper trail, isn't it? I'm going to find out where these pins, although the relay's not working, where do these pins actually go to? That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Listen, bloody wind. Ooh, it's like being in Antarctic, isn't it? Right, back again. I tested the continuity from this pin and this pin. So this pin goes to here and that pin goes to there. Well, one of the two, either way around. But obviously there's no continuity between them. Now, bear this in mind. This here is the plug that goes into there. There's only 2 wires. Well, there's only 2. There's 3 wires, sorry. So you've got a plug there with 6 contacts on, but only 3 of them work. And surprise, surprise, you see the ones are marked here? It's a white and a green and a blue and a red. They're the culprits. So if they're not joining together to fire up that relay, so if that relay is dead, it won't send all the rest of the signals on. So it could be this. So let's do the cheap option first and get one of these. Oh, I had a look for the part numbers, I couldn't find them. I'm sure they exist, but I'm not going to fanny about that. That's a 2000. So it's getting on old. It's getting old, isn't it? 25 years old. Yeah, I think that's a problem. Because like I say, it just stopped dead. And that relay, if it's burnt out inside, well, that's enough to do it. So I'm going to tell the guy, go and get one of them and let's try it. We've got nothing to lose, because the next expensive thing is that ECU locked? But that for certain isn't working. I'm fairly confident with that by looking at my papers, because when we have a look at this one here, it's difficult to show you. There's the power coming in. There's the power coming in. So we've tested that one. The power's on a bus here. So one side goes to one side of the contact, the relay, and the other side goes to the coil, right? So that's a little resistor or some capacitor or something, I don't know. But then it goes to this one here. So this contact here goes down to the ECU, and that's not making contact. I'm glad when this car's gone. Burn the bloody thing. Let's get on and see if we can get a unit.